In this video, I'm going back in time to how I used to take photographs, set everything just to a standard and see what I can get. Anyway, join me. Roll titles. Well, hi YouTube, Brian James, I'm Micro Four Thirds guy with you once again. And if you saw my last video, you'll know that I decided I was going to try going back to basics a little bit, having a bit of fun with the camera and see what we can get out of it. So today, as I cross the road and try not to get run over, I brought my GX8 out. I've quickly set it up to manual mode. I'm going to leave it so that I don't touch the aperture, don't touch the shutter speed, don't touch ISO. I've got it all sort of set. I've got a prime lens on. I've got my Sigma 30mm lens on the front. Just a little bit tighter than a nifty 50, but close enough for me, and I love the lens. And I'm just going to have a wander around town, and I've set it to black and white too. So what I'm going to be doing is having a wander around town, not taking anything particular, but just having a bit of fun with the camera and see what I can do without changing all the settings, letting the camera just be as it was when I was taking photographs in those early days with my father's twin lens reflex brownie. No aperture to adjust, a set speed, a set film speed, and black and white with a prime lens. Let's go and see what we can do. The other thing I'm doing is I'm shooting from the waist. I'm looking down onto the screen because it's like doing the twin lens reflex. It's a totally different viewpoint, much lower than normal, much lower than eye level. But it means that you've got a different outlook on the photographs you're taking. So I've got the camera with the tilt swivel screen out sideways. Lots of traffic in Brampton today. But I'm just going to try and take a few photographs and see what I can see. And we'll adjust most of the aperture and things in post. Now I'll just tell you what I got set on here because it seems about right. I'm shooting about f4.5 to 5.6, around about that area. 30th of a second. So I am relying a little bit on the IBIS. I haven't switched the IBIS off. But I'm just going to try and get some shots. But that's giving us either on exposure, just slightly around there, within a stop of it anyway. So let's see what we can do. Now I've got the camera set to what, f8, 60th of a second on ISO 400, so it's like having a fairly fast filming. I might actually change the film speed down to 200. I think it's probably more representative of what we used to have when I was taking photographs originally, maybe even 100. So we'll see how we get on with that. But yeah, it's going to be a bit of a challenge. It will take a little bit of post-production. But of course, in those days, we did our post-production when we were developing and printing the film. So we did still do post-production, that's still allowed. But let's see what we can do on this and see what sort of results we can get out by doing that. Now, it's particularly dark in the afternoon as well, so anything I'm doing, I'm fighting against the elements to a degree. But in some ways, that's bringing in what I've been saying, it's a bit of fun. Who cares if it comes out? Who cares if it doesn't come out? I'm just going around taking some photographs for the sake of it. Some will, some won't. But let's be honest, when it was still, when we were all younger and using the more traditional types of cameras, we knew we were going to get a huge rejection rate. We didn't expect every photograph to come out well. I think now with all the whistles and tools and all sorts of whistles and bags and all sorts of things on the cameras, I think there's a false expectation that every photograph is going to come out perfectly. And of course that's not the case. So I'm going back a little bit to the idea that what it used to be, where you maybe get one keeper out of a roll, maybe two, and that's part of the fun of it as well. It brings in it brings in that little bit unknown, that unknown quantity which we used to have, which kept us on our toes, made us interested. So let's take a few more photographs and see how we get on. Now, one of the things I have done is switched it to RAW only. I was shooting JPEG at first, but I think I switched it to RAW only. Yes, they're going to come out in colour. But the thing is with that, it does mean that we've got that latitude for the exposure which we would have had with film. So I think what we can do is switch them straight to black and white when we do them, and then do our exposure changes in with them as they've changed over. But yeah, we used to shoot with film, which of course is a RAW format, but it would be black and white film. So I've switched it to RAW, so I've got more latitude to be able to pull back the exposure like I would have had with film in the first place. Let's just have a little look at what's happening in the street.
Who's YouTube?
Well, I've just found four guys who just stopped us in the middle of Brampton. Have we got Tony? Luke?
Good luck.
Matt? Ewan. Thanks guys, you're going to subscribe to the channel, look after yourselves. All the best. Have a great afternoon. Oh, that cracking. Good bunch of guys. So as I say, yeah, we're just having a little wander around through the town at the minute. As I was saying a few minutes ago, I think in the older days, we were used to the idea of not getting many shots out of the camera at a time that would keep. Keepers were something quite rare. A lot of that was down to technology, but a lot of it was down to people's techniques. If you're in a studio, for instance, you've got good lighting, you've got to control the lighting, so you can get really good keep ratio. But I remember getting rolls of film back, 24 rolls of film back from my 35mm days, or even 12 photos back when you had the roll film. And if you got one or two, you're really doing well. Let's just see if I can get something of the lights again. The problem with a day like today as well is there's a lack of contrast. It's hard to get the contrast on this, so we might have to add contrast in the post-production.
Oh my God, your shot changed!
If we can do that, we can get some keepable shot. Keepable? Is that a proper word? Maybe there's a guy from earlier who'll tell us if keepable is a proper word. Let's just have a little look. We've got the Moot Hall here. The trouble with Brampton is there's far too many cars. But let's see if we can get something at the Moot Hall. And we'll try taking the vertical one. Now this would have been much harder to do with the twin lens reflex camera because it was a square format film. So we've got something from that there. We've got some great old buildings in Brampton. But yeah, as I said, I'm just having a little bit of a good fun time. It's cold. They're really, really cold actually, so I'm struggling a little bit on this. And I am noticing that on this, the exposure is particularly underexposed. So whether we can actually get any back from the post-production, I don't know. But of course, this would have been part of the problem when we were shooting in the first place. So I'm imagining that I've already put a roll of film in a couple of days ago and I'm stuck with a, what speed is it, a 400 ISO film. And I can't change it for anything faster. This is the problems we would have had in the old days. Unless you're going to waste some film, you couldn't change the film. You couldn't alter the shutter speed, you couldn't alter the aperture. That's what you were stuck with. And we still wanted to get photographs out of camera, even when it was dark, even when it was wasn't the best of times. So walking around like this is creating a bit more of a challenge. So I'm just seeing what I can actually do with this challenge. Challenge, of course, is having a fixed lens on it. You also have to do a bit more walking. You can't just sort of zoom in or out the way you want to be. So let's see if we can cross this road without being knocked over. It is a busy little market town, is Brampton. If you haven't visited Brampton before, it's worth coming to. There's all sorts of little bits and pieces here. It's a nice, pretty little town. See if we can get the Nag's Head in. Again, very dark. Now, of course, with it being black and white, I haven't had to worry about white balance. But there again, I wouldn't have had to worry about white balance on the original cameras because we couldn't adjust it. You had what you had. You could get different film types, but you couldn't adjust for the white balance, even if you're using colour film. What have we got here? Let's see if we can do something looking up at the lights. But the biggest problem by far of taking photographs like this is I'm bloody freezing. I am no longer equipped for cold weather. Even though I have lots of inbuilt padding and inbuilt insulation, I am not built for cold weather anymore. Now most of the photographs, he says, take one to the charity bookshop. Are going to be of shops. And at the moment I'm probably about 3 stops under. So one of the problems we're going to have is, yes, we can push the exposure afterwards, but but it's going to push it difficult. Can we get more than 3 stops and keep any integrity in the photos? Well, I don't know at the moment. You'll be able to tell me because you've been seeing them. And I'm going to put all the photographs I'm taking up beside it, warts and all, because I think it's a more accurate representation of what you're going to get by doing this. But I'm actually having fun. It really is a bit of fun taking these photographs like this, just doing something different, having to think about it. And if nothing else, it's a nice wander around the place. And especially as you start getting the Christmas lights out. Unfortunately, as I say, there's far too much traffic here, so there's vans and things. The Howard Arms Hotel is looking fabulous, but there's so many vehicles outside, I'm not going to get a shot of it. We'll give it a try though. Let's give it a try, let's see if we can. Let's see if we can get a shot of the Howard Arms. But although it looks quite light on this screen at the moment, I'm going to take a stand back because it's really tight for the traffic. Although it looks quite light on the screen at the moment, it is really, really dark here. And it's got to the point where I'm probably about 4 or 5 stops below where I need to be without adjustment. So I'm going to stop taking the photographs here. I'm going to get this video done. As I say, I haven't seen the photographs yet, so you'll have seen more than I have by watching this video. Give me comments below as to let me know how you think this came out. Don't forget, give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you would. I'm always really interested in that. The subscribe button's down there, costs nothing to subscribe. But a big shout out for the guys, not just the 4 guys who were on before, but all the rest of the guys from William Howard School in Brampton who gave me a great chat. Really interesting. Couple of guitarists amongst them, so good on you guys. One Ibanez player, I know that one, really good. I'm going to stick them a link to my TikTok channel down below. I've got a new TikTok channel. So I'm going to stick them a link down to that below. But yeah, if you are watching this, thanks very much guys. You made me afternoon, had a really good chat with you. Couple of guys really into football. One's playing for the Newcastle youth team, I think you said. I think it was Daniel Kane, if I'm not mistaken. Related to Harry Kane as well, so really fantastic talent on those. Some good guys there. Wish all the best of luck. Anyway, till the next time I see you on the video, keep on taking your camera out, keep on having fun. See if there's enough light to do it. Next time I take a camera out, I'm probably going to do it where I'm setting the camera onto the P setting or the green fully automatic setting and see what happens with those results. But again, keep on having fun with your photography. Keep on going out and enjoying yourself. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.